The Titanomachy, otherwise known as the War of the Titans, was a 10-year war fought through a series of battles between the Titans and the younger Olympian gods, with each side fighting for dominion over the universe. So, what started this legendary war, and who won? Let's find out together right now. Prior to the Titans, the cosmos was ruled by Uranus, one of the protogenoi. But insecure in his position, he locked up his own children, the Raconteurs and Cyclops, within the belly of the earth. This angered Gaia, the mother of Uranus' children, who then plotted with another group of his children, the Titans. She attempted to convince them to join her plot, but only one was willing: Kronos. Kronos would wield an adamantine sickle forged by Gaia against his father, castrating Uranus and removing most of the sky god's powers. As Uranus retreated to the heavens, the god would inflict a curse to ensure that just as he had been overthrown, so Kronos himself would be overthrown by his own son. Kronos took his father's title of ruler of the land, sky and sea. He then secured his power by forcing his siblings to bow down to his will. Instead of releasing the Raconteurs and Cyclops as Gaia wished, however, Kronos imprisoned them in Tartarus, even adding an extra guard in the form of the dragon Campe. Kronos, paranoid of Uranus' curse and fearing the end of his rule, now turned into the tyrant his father had once been, swallowing each of his children whole as they were born from his sister wife Rhea. Rhea, who began to resent Kronos, managed to hide her youngest newborn child Zeus by tricking Kronos into swallowing a magnetite rock, given to her by her mother Gaia, wrapped in a blanket instead. Rhea brought Zeus to a cave in Crete, where he was raised by Amalthea and the Meliae. Upon reaching adulthood, he masqueraded as Kronos' cupbearer. Once Zeus had been established as a servant of Kronos, he secretly fed his father a mixture of mustard and wine, which caused Kronos to vomit out his swallowed children, now fully grown. The 6 siblings retreated to Mount Olympus, and it was there that Zeus called an assembly of the gods, proclaiming that any who sided with him would retain all their rights and privileges, but those who opposed him would lose everything. War was inevitable, and the female siblings, Demeter, Hestia and Hera, were sent to safety. Hera, it was said, went to live with Oceanus and Tethys, but Oceanus would later, when she was married to Zeus, aid her with her husband's infidelities. It might seem strange that Hera went to Oceanus and Tethys, but they were first-generation Titans. But not all Titans sided with Kronos and his cause. Oceanus decided to remain neutral, and the female Titans did not fight at all. The basic Titan army therefore consisted of Kronos, Iapetus, Hyperion, Coeus and Creus, and 2 sons of Iapetus, Atlas and Menetius. Iapetus was known for his fierceness, as was his son Menetius, but it was Atlas who was given the role of battlefield leader. 2 further sons of Iapetus, Prometheus and Epimetheus, did not fight though, for Prometheus was forewarned about how the war would end through his prophetic abilities. Other named allies of the Titans included the Gorgon X, the terrible goat, and the god of stormy seas, Aegaon. The Olympian side originally consisted of Zeus, Hades and Poseidon, but they were soon joined by others. First to join was the goddess Styx, a daughter of Oceanus, who was urged by her father to join the side of Zeus. Styx brought along her 4 children, Nike, Kratos, Zelos and Bia. Nike would become the charioteer of Zeus during the war, whilst all 4 children of Styx would also act as the guardians of Zeus's throne later on. Another child of Oceanus, Metis, also joined the forces of the Olympians, and the goddess of wisdom would act as counsel to Zeus during the war. Battle lines were drawn, with Zeus and his allies based upon Mount Olympus, and the Titans upon Mount Othrys. Aegaon and the Gorgon X were vanquished by Zeus during the war, but ultimately both sides proved evenly matched. As the war went on, so the earth trembled, the air burned, the waters boiled, and the sky creaked and groaned. Eventually Gaia intervened and told Zeus that victory could be assured if he released the Raconteurs and Cyclops from their imprisonment. So Zeus travelled deep into Tartarus, and there he fought with the mighty Campe, killing the dragon guard and freeing the prisoners. This possibly occurred as late as the 10th year of the war. This proved to be a master stroke, for upon their release, the Cyclops, who were skilled artisans, crafted weapons for Zeus and his brothers. Zeus was furnished with his lightning bolts, Poseidon was given a mighty trident, and Hades was presented with the helmet of invisibility. Even more useful to Zeus's cause were the 100-handed Hecatoncheires, for when restored after partaking of ambrosia and nectar, they were mighty in strength and able to throw mountains as artillery shells. The Titans were said to have strengthened their ranks, but Zeus was now unstoppable, and from his chariot, guided by Nike, Zeus threw down his lightning bolts. One such bolt struck Menetius, sending him straight into the depths of Tartarus. One version of the end of the war sees Hades don the helmet of invisibility and enter the very camp of the Titans upon Mount Othrys, proceeding to destroy their weapons and armaments, crippling the Titans' ability to fight and ending the war after 10 years of fighting. At the conclusion of the war, as promised, Zeus punished those who had opposed him. The male Titans were sent to Tartarus to be imprisoned by new bronze gates crafted by Poseidon, and the Hecatoncheires were given the position of prison guards. Atlas was given a special punishment, for he was charged with holding up the damaged sky or heavens for all eternity. The Cyclops would not return to Tartarus, however, and would become craftsmen for the gods, with forges upon Mount Olympus and beneath various volcanoes. The female Titans remained free, for they had taken no part in the war. Oceanus retained his privileged position as god of fresh water, and Prometheus and Epimetheus were given the job of bringing forth life to the earth. The allies of Zeus were also rewarded. Styx was made a powerful river goddess whose name was invoked for unbreakable oaths, whilst her children would be given privileged positions upon Mount Olympus. Metis would even become the first wife of Zeus. The cosmos was itself divided amongst the 3 male Olympians through the drawing of lots. This is how Hades came to be given dominion over the underworld. Poseidon became lord of the world's waters, and Zeus became lord of the heavens, and with it the position of supreme deity. One deity, though, who was not satisfied with the outcome of the war was Gaia. Although her children, the Hecatoncheires and Cyclops, had been released as she had originally desired, they had simply been replaced in Tartarus with other children of hers, the Titans. Ultimately, Gaia would cajole the Gigantes, another set of children of Mother Earth, to rise up against Zeus in the Titanomachy. But that is most definitely a story for another day. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more great stories. Cheers.